title is Project Outreach, and I'll be talking to you guys about reaching other people. And not so much in the ways that we think, because we can go to Project Appalachia and our big block party and these big events, and which is great, you reach all these people, but you're a Christian every day.
Yes.
Not just during those big events. So every day you need to be living to reach people.
Yes. Amen.
And so the scripture that I found, because there's so much scripture on reaching people, but the scripture that I found that I like the most, I took out the Message version. It's Philippians 2, 1 through 4. And it says, if you've got anything at all out of following Christ, if his love has made any difference in your life, if being in a community of the Spirit means anything to you, if you have a heart, if you care, then do me a favor. Agree with each other, love each other, be deep-spirited friends. Don't push your way to the front. Don't sweet talk your way to the top. Put yourself aside and help others get ahead. Don't be obsessed with getting your own advantage. Forget yourselves long enough to lend a helping hand.
Amen.
And I like this because it puts an emphasis on starting with yourself. To reach other people, you have to start with you. You have to know what your faith is and where you stand.
Amen.
You need to know what you're talking about. You don't have to have all the answers. But if you know what you stand for, the rest will follow.
Yes.
And so a lot of times people start with John 3:16, which is great. But then you get the question, so all you have to do is believe in Jesus. Yes. Well, does that mean you get a free pass to do whatever you want? No. What that means is that you don't need to stay down because he already gave you a way back up.
Yes.
That's right.
And so you get these questions, and you have to know what you're talking about. You have to start with you. And if you can start with you, then that leaves a foundation for somebody else.
Yes.
You can be that foundation that leads somebody into knowing Jesus. And so I know with me that I didn't start off in church. I didn't start off in this church. I actually started off in the church down the street. But I was meant to end up here. And that was because of one person. And that was because of Alan. Because she asked me to come with her because she was always there. And then it was because of Trent. Because Trent was completely different as a youth pastor.
That's just all.
It's all good.
I love you, baby.
You too. And so then it was Trent. And it was because Trent was a completely different youth pastor. Because of the church I started out at, I couldn't ask questions. I was given the information, and that was it. Trent gave me a way to discuss, to ask questions, to know what I was talking about. And that worked for me. And so then that gave me a foundation. So if you know what you're talking about and you can push that into people, not push, but live that, people will see it.
Yes.
And then you can be that foundation.
Right.
Philippians 2, 1 through 4 also says to put yourself aside and help others get ahead. A lot of times people are self-concerned. We want what we want. It's all about me. And to be able to reach people, you have to be able to put yourself aside and to step aside for somebody else's needs, because that's what Christ did for us.
Yes.
Because he stepped down from where he was to say that we were important.
Yes.
And to live that Christ-like life and to pour into somebody else, you have to be able to do the same thing. You have to be able to step down and say, you're important.
Yes.
And I acknowledge that. And you have to be able to say that you may not think you're important, but I do. And not only do I think you're important, but Jesus did.
Yes.
And all of this goes back to the way that you live your life. It's to live the Christ-like life, to walk the way that Christ did, to act out what you're saying. Because it does not just happen with four walls. You are not just a Christian in this church. You are a Christian with every step you take, with every breath you breathe,
You're right.
in every place that you go. And a lot of times, you come on Sundays and you come on Wednesdays, and that's that. When you go back out into the world, and you have a bad week, and you're in a bad mood, and that person at McDonald's messed up your order, yeah, or KFC, but that's on me, sorry. And you're in a bad mood, and you see the person behind you in line, and you're not exemplifying what Christ would have exemplified. Or you talk to that fast food worker in a way that Christ would not approve of.
Mm-hmm.
Because you really just wanted your chicken nuggets and not a McDouble. So you have to be able to say that, yeah, I've had a bad day, but that person didn't deserve that. You have to be able, no matter how you feel, to live the way that Christ would have.
Amen.
Because it all goes back to the way that you act. Because talk is cheap. And you know nowadays, you see it on Facebook, you hear people say it, Christians are hypocrites. Because what they're seeing is not what we're saying.
Mm-hmm.
You can talk the talk, but you have to walk the walk.
Amen.
And if they can see that one person who shows them that maybe not all Christians are hypocrites.
That's right.
Maybe not all Christians are stuck up. Maybe not all Christians are judgmental. Because that's the point that we've gotten to today. Is that we're so worried and self-concerned with ourselves that we aren't living that Christian life all the time. And like I said, you have a bad day. God already gave you a way back up. You don't have to stay down.
Sure.
You don't. So for you to stay down is not showing what God can do.
Amen.
If somebody sees you fall and get back up, they're going to wonder what you have that they don't.
Right.
And that absolutely opens you up to say, hey, this is what my God has done for me.
Amen.
And this is what he can do for you too.
Amen.
And this can happen in everyday situations. It does not have to be Appalachian. You don't have to go out of your way 2 hours away to do this. It can be every day in every little thing.
Yes.
Because if you're living it, then the people around you are seeing it.
Yes.
Thank you.